Scares the hell out of them. Hello! Welcome back to more Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 Bush Rush. You could just call me Stent. Just give me 1 second. There we go. It has been a little bit, so just needing to get back into the swing of things. I would have done this last week, but I don't think any of you would have really appreciated me going through this whilst croaking even more than I do normally. Let me just... You can tell how woefully unprepared I am for this. I haven't even changed it over to this. So hopefully, now that I do that... There we go. Only professionalism on this channel. Just give it a little sec so I can tell if it actually worked on the stream. As, of course, this is one of those games which doesn't like me alter. There we go. Okay. Like I said, no real clue as to where these last few picture frames in this area are. I'm guessing they're here. Well, that's a good start at the very least. That just leaves, about 11. It's a start at the very least, and, I'm thinking there's just gonna be one particular segment near the end of this where I just scour the entirety of Burramudgee Town with these last few picture frames, which is gonna take a little bit, not gonna lie, but before that, though, there we go, just bring the camera out a little bit more. I gotta go deliver some more dynamite, which, they really do like the sort of skull motifs with the explosives in this game, I've noticed. Like, you got the Doomerang and the Deadly Rang, both known for their pyrotechnics. And then you just have it here as well. Okay, apparently I can just phase through the explosives. Good to know. Anyways, Julius.
Ah, Ty. These are my brand new experimental explosives.
Ah. You can tell they're extra potent because they're experimental and not, which is another word for illegal, I'm guessing.
So handle them with care.
Why is everyone so anxious for me to transport explosives these days?
Because you're the only one.
No one else is mad enough to do it.
Fair enough.
I was gonna say, he's the only one stupid enough to do it.
Before they become unstable and explode.
Oh, nice. 6 minutes before I get blown to Kingdom Come, and, well, thankfully I can freeze time in here. Funny fact, Explodarium, if I'm correct, that's also the same material the Kaboomerang is made out of. If going by its, description in the first game at the very least. I can only hope that I didn't miss out any picture frames in the sewers. That's gonna be fun, traversing back through there again. But yeah, as you can probably tell, had a bit of a nasty cold. I feel that only now I'm getting over it, as it did hit me pretty bad all throughout the rest of the week. Just croaking and coughing and sneezing. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. And as far as I'm aware, it's the second cold I've had in a row this year, so off to a good start already. Hopefully you've all been having a better time of things. Okay, as far as I'm aware, Big Bang, which is the one we're on right now, that's the purple star, so we just have to go north, basically, up to Steel Springs. Shouldn't be too bad. Just once again have to get used to all the controls, of course. I haven't really played much since last time, as of course I didn't want to accidentally find any stray picture frames and then just have to go, oh yeah, this is where they are. Which, granted in hindsight, would have probably been the more effective means of saving time. Surprisingly relaxing music for someone who's about to get blown up, I must say. It is also kind of a shame that I almost took a wrong turn there. I was gonna say it's kind of a shame that I got sick last week, because of course I missed out on the big, sort of brand new announcement which was on everyone's minds, which is, if the Switch was so good, where is Switch 2? Here is Switch 2. I will admit, I was, going the wrong way again. Here I am just trying to think of a talking points, and here I am just coming out of the expense of gameplay. There we go, it's this way. We can finally access the western part of the map now, as it's the last part. Thankfully, we still have 3 minutes on the clock, so just zoom in, and I believe... right here? This guy in particular?
Aha! Julius's new explosives. Just what we've been waiting for. And these ones didn't explode during delivery like his last batch.
No, they exploded immediately after. Did you just teleport them up there?
Snorter of an explosion, eh, mate?
Ty, Julius is as mad as a cut snake. He's just started a new experiment and has run out of plutonium. I need you to nip on over to the Never Never and grab a fresh plutonium rod for him.
Oh, great, he's playing with nuclear physics now. Well, we have this yellow one over here. Oh, this is a another kart racing track, so we may as well just do this, you know, since we're here. You know, just Cass is about to kidnap the entire population of Buramaji. Julius wants me to deal in nuclear radioactive materials. Something about dinosaurs, and yeah, we're just here kart racing.
You again.
In the
So
lava
you ready to
falls.
race karts? See you, bud.
Because it wouldn't be a video game kart race without at least one track with lava in it. Okay, it doesn't... Nice one there. It doesn't look like there's any shortcuts on this track. Though I could be wrong. Oh no, well, yeah, there they are. I've kind of forgotten just how nice these feel now. Because obviously the kart racing in the original 2004 release, I don't think was really anything special. Or at the very least you didn't have this fun, nice little hop drift like you do in Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing and basically all the good kart racers. I think that just cost me the race. Because I'm not entirely certain as to the catch mechanics here. Obviously, there's no blue shell, thankfully, but... I suppose we're just gonna have to make do with what we got. Well, you know, we could just, do this. I just want to make sure I get first place so I can just get it off of my thing. And I think each restart is another 100 opals. Not that we're in any need of opals at the moment. Oh, nice. But yeah, I suppose getting back to the Switch 2. Admittedly, I was expecting something a little bit more, innovative, for lack of a better word, as opposed to just the Switch again, but more powerful. I know that was sort of the big major complaint people had about the Switch, the lack of power compared to its contemporaries, but I don't know. I just feel after stuff like the Wii and the Switch, I was under the impression that they were more sort of priding themselves in innovation rather than just straight up performance, because obviously we know what happened with the GameCube. It's my favorite console. It's a console that I hold near and dear to my heart, but I'm not gonna sit here like an idiot and proclaim that it wasn't a hit. As in, Nintendo didn't take a financial hit by releasing it. Which of course led to the Wii, which... what is going on with the AI in this particular race? It just seems like a improved Switch, which... okay, I guess. Just not entirely certain as to whether or not this is just going to be another Wii U situation, but I guess at the very least they didn't have marketed it a little bit better than the Wii U, where it's most definitely a follow-up to the Switch as opposed to just an add-on. Yeah, I'm doing just poorly here.
You again. So
I didn't want this to be just what we get stuck on for the first part of the stream, but again, I was under the impression that this was going to be the longest one, so hopefully this is just setting the precedent right away. Gonna have to try and concentrate for this. Yeah, this is dinosaurs now. If I forgot to mention, yeah, there's just casually just dinosaurs in this setting now. Which... I suppose it's kind of funny how it doesn't really tend to make a big deal out of this sort of stuff. We got aliens, we got giant reptiles, we got dinosaurs, giant octopuses. Just... as long as it looks thematically interesting and sort of fits in with the aesthetic, I guess anything really goes with this series. But now I can't help but wonder if we're actually gonna get a Bladekin crossover with the fifth game, if there ever is a fifth game. There we go. And we get the cog trophy. Let's get the F out of here. Just going into whatever this, okay, so that looks to just be the entrance to the Never Never, so I plan on doing that last, as it is definitely the biggest level in the game, by a considerable margin, even more so than Sulphur Rocks. And while I do have more fond memories of it than Sulphur Rocks, I'm not gonna pretend that it's not rough going. If that makes any sense. The top banana! Don't forget, is there actually anything here?
Those morons are ruining my movie. Get them off my set. Are you sure they're not just extras?
Oh, now you want our help.
Wait, we've never seen these guys before. You have to help us. Let me think about it.
Ain't nothing stopping us from walking away. Especially after that.
We called him that after he left.
Jeepers, we're sorry for getting mad at you, Ty. Will you please help us? Pretty please?
Okay, you're okay in my book, buddy.
I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this to chest out the Omega Rangs. Don't be shocked if you... Don't be shocked if you find yourself the subject of friendly fire, as this is a target-rich environment. Yeah, I can't help but imagine these two are doing so hot nowadays. considering how hot things have gone back in Hollywood. Just... I already made a comment about this last stream when it happened. Obviously, nothing really happy to be gained with so many people losing their homes, but at the same time, a fair few celebrities who've been running their mouths a fair bit have lost their homes as well, and it's not exactly easy to really forgive and forget, if that makes any sense.
Do you have representation? Thanks, but I'll keep my day job.
Julius is still waiting for his plutonium rod, mate.
Yes, yes. Well, it's the next thing on our pathway of destruction, so we may as well just go and get the nuclear materials for Julius. Pass the top banana, and I'm fairly certain there's a surprise instance here we can bump into, but I don't think it's quite yet. Yeah, here's the plutonium rod, but I think it's super important that we come back along the way we came. Also, yeah, the Never Never, home to both dinosaurs and nuclear materials.
G'day, Ty. I've got Julius's plutonium rod here. It's got an extremely short half-life, so hurry on over to Julius's lab.
Ah yes, a half-life of 6 minutes. So I suppose it's no big deal that we're just carrying around these nuclear materials with an incredibly short half-life. Absolutely zero risk of us growing 2 heads or something of that nature. It would be pretty gruesome though if Julius made one of his techno-rangs using nuclear materials. Just... Oh yes, Ty. My boy. This newest boomerang I've created is bound to be my most impressive yet. I call it the Nukerang. You hit it at the enemy, and it gives them radiation poisoning. Julius might, wouldn't it be more humane to just clobber him over the head like I have been doing? Nonsense, Ty! This is progress! I am planning on using it to augment your kaboomerangs next, Ty. Yeah, that doesn't sound totally dangerous at all, mate. Sure, let's just add a whole bunch of nuclear materials to my already explosive kaboomerangs. Bound to be nothing wrong going with that, mate. And then Southern Rivers became setting for the newest Fallout game. Fallout Down Under. I reckon these time missions are a little bit harder in the original home console versions, given you had a lot more time spent just waiting in these load zones. Probably would have been more effective to just have this be the last mission, since it takes us all the way back to Barmudgee Town, but well, here we are. Just going to and fro from Julius's lab all the way out into the big wide world. Still though, we are reaching the end of the game, and I suppose it is fairly apt that we move on from flying around unstable dynamite in a helicopter, just running through the streets with just exposing everybody to plutonium. There's a little bit of progress there, just like at the end of Simpsons Hidden Room, where you're just running around with nuclear weaponry.
Expecting you. Have you got my plutonium rod?
Yep, here it is.
Excellent. When I combine this,
It really is just like one thing from The Simpsons, though, isn't it?
I will have the most technologically advanced fishing rod ever.
Haha, funny. It's like
Think twice before poking me in the bottom for a
Literally making a nuclear fishing rod.
Down outside Dusty Burrows, mate. Apparently the spark plug has packed it in. Keith has a spare waiting for you at the Bush Rescue Garage. Swing on by, pick it up, and help get things going again.
Ah yes, this was the one mission I was waiting for us to get to, admittedly. You know, Boss Cass about to stage a mass kidnapping to take every single person in Southern Rivers / Burramudgee to be used in his experiments to create an army of Ubermenches. And here we are playing mechanic, delivering spark plugs.
G'day, Ty. I've got that spark plug here for you. I need you to get it over to Dusty Burrows as fast as Shane the Speedy Sparrow.
Okay, this time we only have 5 minutes to deliver... You know, only 5 minutes to deliver a spark plug. 6 minutes to deliver plutonium. Priorities, I suppose. It really is just going to enroll for this first part of the whole adventure. Blimey. Still, I imagine a good chunk of this whole stream is just going to be us running around the final level, because I'm fairly certain that's where most of the missions are at this point, aside from a couple in the overworld as far as I remember. I gotta say, combing this whole area for picture frames is gonna be a nightmare, though. Especially if it did turn out that I did miss a whole bunch in the sewers. Whatever, all we have to do is get over to Dusty Burrows, which is right by Steel Springs, as far as I remember, which... I don't know, Steel Springs just reminds me now of Disney Springs when I went there back in 2019. Ironically, the best Disney-related area they went to for that whole trip. I'm fairly certain I've already told this before. The main thing I remember about that whole trip was just us getting pizzas. And as far as I remember, aside from vegetables, I just remember putting as much stuff on there as possible in terms of meats and cheeses. So I ended up with pizza with like chilies / jalapenos and gorgonzola, among many things, and it's well, it was certainly an experience. I'll tell you what. The gorgonzola was the most memorable bit. That and the Scovilles. Get out of the way. As far as I'm aware, the health bonus also applies to your truck as well, so there's that. Oh yeah, and I think there's another spy in here as well. Run over here. Yep, he just immediately loads in. Alright. Here, I got your spark plug.
G'day. I'm here to fix your car.
You took your time. I could have grown a spark plug in the time it took you to get here.
Yeah, I would love to see you. Yeah, just throw it in.
It's new.
Well, I doubt that. Anyway, at least I can get to Burramudgee now.
You wouldn't want to miss your Whingers Anonymous meeting.
I heard that.
Mate, there's been an accident on the Dusty Desert Highway.
Oh, just Dusty Deserts. You mean from... Oh no.
Heading into Burramudgee. A young lady by the name of Colleen has gone into labour and needs to get into Burramudgee Hospital ASAP. See what you can do.
Oh, now we're in business with a proper high-tension event. Having to clear the road as a woman is going into labor and about to deliver her baby. It's like, finally, a mission with stakes. As opposed to just throwing around spark plugs. This is one of the highlights, by the way. Just... not sure how much I can stress that. Though, if I remember correctly, yeah. Yes, so Dusty Desert Highway, red truck jackknifed. Clear the highway before it causes another accident. Before it causes another accident. Yeah, this part of the game is where the game expects you to have the lift up on your key. So it really is sort of like, as I mentioned earlier, like how the rangs were theoretically stationed out during the first game. We have the second area, which is dedicated to the Flamerang. Can you please stop? I was about to die over there, weirdly enough. May as well check around here for a little bit, see if there's any collectibles that I might be missing. I don't think there are. Mostly just wanted an excuse to get out of the truck before that one bike just clipped away all my health. It is one of the more annoying things about this game, the fact that those bikes can just go right up your behind and just drain you of all your health. And as far as I'm aware, there's no real way of recovering your health whilst you're in the truck, which is annoying. Anyway, yeah, I suppose this is sort of desert-like, but a little muddy, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, here we go. This is the area in question. Yeah, that's quite the jackknife, if I do say so myself. Just fires everywhere, blimey.
Relax, everything will be okay. Just take some deep breaths.
Deep breaths. Okay.
G'day! Ty, mate. Glad you made it.
Whoever you are.
So we can get Colleen here to the hospital. No worries. You'll need to load those boxes of donuts.
Donuts.
That should give us enough room to move me truck off the road.
Right, lift a bunyip time. As I mentioned back in Sulphur Rocks, this is arguably the worst bunyip in the game, purely from the fact that it moves super slowly. And as we have 8 agonizing minutes to... There we go. 8 agonizing minutes to move all this stuff around. It is kind of comical just how much stuff you can just lift up, but doesn't change the fact that it is definitely the most slow and agonizing bunyip to use in the game. You got the battle bunyip, which is a lot more mobile, and you got the thermo bunyip, which can swim and spin. You got the sub bunyip, which is... This is kind of neat, though, just how... It is going to come with just how much this thing can lift. Also, with how slow this thing moves, this, music isn't exactly the most fitting, I will say. Though I do like it quite a lot. Just, you expect there to be a bit more action involved. Especially given how, built this thing is. I don't know, just strap a tank gun onto this thing and you should be good. As far as I'm aware, you can't really destroy any of the small rocks, so you have to pick up every single one. And you can't use them to break any other, so you have to pick up every single one. There we go. At the very least, there's only 5, so it is, at the very least, somewhat merciful. Oh, we have, Uberfrills to worry about as well. Lovely. I think I can just afford to chuck these on that. There we go. Alright, let's deal with Uberfrills next. Get over here, you. Would probably be faster for me to just get out and use the Deadly Rang, but, this is one of the few times we get to use the lift up on yet, so I'm using it. I just noticed when he just straight up pinches it while he goes for it as well. Just pinch, pinch, pinch. I'm pinching you. Also, nice floating foliage there. Not sure what that was supposed to be. Looks like it was used to be on something, but now it isn't. I can't remember whether that was actually in the base game or not. This is one of the things about this HD remaster. Just certain graphical things, which I'm being gaslit to think were part of the original game. As is the nature of these things. As I think we've done with all the major threats here, so all we have to do is just throw these last easiest ones onto the truck and we can be off. As far as I'm aware, looking at the map, there's only 2 races we need to do as well, and then we can concentrate our efforts on clearing up what missions we can, dealing with what spies we can, and then on to the Never Never. Really feels as though I've... Really feels as though I've done quite a fair bit in terms of progress of this game. Maybe it's just that I bought everything and it just feels a lot bigger than it would. There we go.
Thanks, Ty.
I better move me rig so we can get this show on the road.
Good luck, Colleen.
I just noticed there's just like one model of car as well.
He was driving a prison truck to Currawong jail when he hit a rock slide.
Red.
He's trapped inside, and the frill prisoners have escaped. And now they're trying to push the truck over the cliff edge. Hurry, Ty, hurry!
I'm starting... Oh, and we just immediately teleport into the truck. I'm starting to believe that driving isn't exactly Red's forte. To put it lightly. I think he should pursue other business ventures which don't involve him being on the road. But first, we need to do some more kart racing on the Never Never road.
See you, bud.
I think this one involves grind rails, also the what looks like the oil refineries from the first game that clogged up the waterhole in Outback Safari. Jeez Louise. It was absolutely merciless this time around. Also, as far as I'm aware, the voice clips weren't in the original version, so have fun listening to Ty sounding like he's at a football game. Oh, yeah, this is a pretty fun area because it has the service ramp from the Phantom Menace pod racing segments. You probably saw me go through earlier. I can't remember the last time I actually watched Phantom Menace. Then again, the same can be said for pretty much all of Star Wars nowadays. I mean, who would? There we go, go around here, and there we go. Skywalker's been forced onto the surface ramp. I think this might be one of my favorite tracks in the game, to be perfectly honest. Just a whole bunch of stuff going on. But I think the last track that we've yet to get to is probably one of the better... I kind of forget how good a lot of the tracks here are in context with the kart racing. Because, again, 2004 version, nothing really special. Is it? I mean, it's still not all that special, but at the very least, it's kind of fun. Does that make sense? It's like they've done their best to make it palatable. There we go. Alright, time to go save Red again. At the very least, our health is back, so we don't have to worry about that. Also, quite liked this little area here. No real reason for you to actually go down there, as far as I'm aware, but it is a nice little, just fun area, which offers a lot of intrigue, I suppose. Just one of those areas which I'd actually quite like to explore. Look, we even got little frill lizards just wandering around. I don't think we see that in any other point in the game. We just see frill lizards on the ground in a driving segment. truly riveting, I know. Don't think I didn't see you. Alright, let's just get in the thing and...
Can you move me truck to safety, mate?
Honestly, Red. You should be looking into other career paths at this point. You know, driving like this doesn't exactly seem like your forte, as I stated previously, but I gotta ask, how exactly did it manage to get it all the way up here? I don't think this road even leads anywhere. Like, you got the main road, and then it's just here to a cliff that it doesn't really go anywhere. At the very least, this feels a bit more tense, given the low time limit, compared to the previous one. Also, as far as I'm aware, the only other instance of being able to use the lift up on yep. Other than this, the only other place you get to use it in repeat instances is Sulphur Rocks. Which, would you really want to go back to Sulphur Rocks? I wouldn't. Yes, yes, I'm coming. Kind of weird that there's no Uber frills here compared to last time, but I suppose time limit wouldn't really be really all that kind to you if that was the case. Alright.
Thanks, mate. I thought I was a goner.
Also, I'm fairly certain that was on fire for a second there.
Interesting?
Nah, I was too scared about falling off the edge. I didn't pay attention. Well, I better motor. See you, Ty.
Just try not to endanger anyone else.
Still teetering over the edge of the lava lakes in the Never Never, mate. I don't know how much longer it can balance there before falling in.
Okay, let's have a look. So, as far as I'm aware... There we go, Never Never. The last 3 missions are in the Never Never. So we just have to clear out this, going the wrong way. We just have to clear out this last kart racing track, then this next fire putting out mission, and then... Oh, the ginormous pineapple. It's like, you got the big apple in America, so we got one bigger, mate. A ginormous pineapple. And again, this brings us full circle. As going through here, this brings us back to Sly Shack. And finally, that one roadblock which was closed to us since Patchy is now open to us. And the whole map is now finally available to us.
So you're ready to race karts?
There we go. I think this might actually be the best track. With just how much shortcuts it has. It's definitely the most advanced. Also reminds me a fair bit of Bridge on the River Ty, to be perfectly honest. I think that's just the more moody evening lighting, which... Honestly, for what it's worth, the background does sort of remind me more of the bonus world from the first game, now that I'm looking at it more clearly. Granted, you could say it also looks like a lot of things, just with how low res it looks, but I do find it charming all the same. Jeez. I think that's why I figured it reminded me of Bridge on the River type. You got all the braziers, the lanterns, and the spider webs. All the hallmarks of Bridge on the River Ty. And this really does feel like the sort of, I suppose, for lack of a better word, V track. Not 100% certain as to whether or not that grind rail is really the best shortcut. Also, as far as I'm aware, this music was also used for the character selection in the multiplayer kart racing, so it is another track that I definitely do enjoy. I definitely feel stuff like this and the more chill tracks are definitely fairly certain it's George Stampede, the artist, the composer. I know he's also the artist, so Not sure if he's both or he's... Not sure if it's just, me misremembering of just the fact that he's super talented, which... Fair dues. But I think tracks, more sort of feel-good tracks like this, and... the more relaxed tracks we've been hearing throughout the game are more so his forte, as opposed to, I suppose more strenuous tracks. And the last one, we get the Opal Trophy. And I think, as far as I'm aware, that's, yeah, that's all the racetracks. And there's only, as far as I'm aware, ooh, a few more than I was expecting, to be perfectly honest. We got, 1, 2, 3. We got 7 missions left, as far as I'm aware. One of them just being getting all of the spies, which, okay, so only one left out in Southern Rivers. And I think the rest are just in the Never Never, which is fair dues. Alright. Last area on our whistle stop tour before heading into the Never Never for, I know I'm building it up, but it is definitely the biggest area in the game in terms of just standard levels. You got stuff like the wetlands and Fair Dinkum, which were fairly small, and then Sulphur Rocks, which is pretty big. It's bigger.
Tie, mate. Not a moment too soon.
What's wrong with your eyes, Ranger Kid?
Broken out around the place. We have to douse the flames from the air before the fire spreads.
Alright, keep your chopper full of fuel and your bucket full of water. Ah yes, fuel next to the burning houses. And here we get a fairly more accurate California simulator. And you even get to see all the locals just running in fear. I probably shouldn't say any more about the whole California incident. I mean, I feel I've already made my peace. But as far as I'm aware, this is basically just the same map as was used in the Burning Gunna Gunna Thermo Bunyip mission earlier in the game. It is now that we have to do it with a helicopter. And as far as I'm aware, this is the last helicopter mission, and I'll just say it, these helicopter missions have generally been quite easy. Just a matter of positioning is all. And even then, you're mostly just constrained by how much fuel you have, which isn't exactly the most difficult to maintain. I get this is more, it's not supposed to be super difficult. We just go back and fill it with water. Because I think that was the problem. There we go. At the very least, Southern Rivers has more easily accessible reserves of water compared to California, which can't help but wonder if this takes place over this sort of lake town. Again, not entirely questioning how exactly this works in terms of just an actual town. Because you got all these houses just super separated over a lake. Like, I've been to the Lake District, and you got sort of towns which gather up in areas more sort of around lakes. But they're more sort of clumped together as opposed to just being actually on the water, if that makes any sense. There we go. I think this is the last one. Last helicopter mission.
Bonza tie. You saved Greenwood Forest from ending up like a Sunday barbie at Maury's place.
I heard that.
Heh heh heh.
This just in on the wire, mate. One of our own is in strife. Dennis was in the Never Never, helping set up a local bush rescue office.
Oh yes, a bush rescue office in the Never Never, filled with dinosaurs and whatever horrors. Yep, just dinosaurs. Okay. So as far as I'm aware, there's the, I think we're mostly on top with the missions at the moment. It really is just the spies thing, which we have to do. Aside from, again, going into the Never Never. Which... there's nothing really stopping us now, is there? So, may as well just, make our way over there. I can't remember if that's also where the last Chromium Orb is as well. I'm willing to bet it is. I feel that they're at least have been quite on top with in terms of collectibles out in the overworld. You want to try that again? That's what I thought. It's kind of weird in all honesty, now we're sort of starting to get to the end. I'm not entirely certain this is one of those instances where I'm getting to the end of the game and like, oh, I'm gonna miss it. And it's definitely been fun, but I feel it's more so just gonna be one of those things where I forget about it for a little bit and go back to it and a fair bit and it's like, oh, that was pretty good. As opposed as sort of the one of the main deals with this series in all honesty, just... oh yeah, there's just tiny little dinosaurs like in that one Jurassic Park movie where they just maul the little girl. The greatest dangers known to man. Okay, now I just have to find our way into the Never Never, which is down here, I believe. Let me just check, is there... no Chromium Orb in sight around here, curious. I think before we go in, I kind of want to see if I can find this last Chromium Orb. Otherwise it's gonna bug me a little bit, and I'd kind of rather get all the Never Never stuff done in one fell swoop, if that makes any sense. So I guess we're just gonna have to explore a little bit. The one place that I can imagine it being is Wobbegong Bay, because that is pretty big. Mostly in terms of areas that I missed, so I think... not sure what happened there, just a nice little wheelie. Thinking maybe we'll start over there? Or maybe there was something around here which had some sort of platforming section which I missed, which wouldn't really surprise me. I think it is more so due to the fact that I've been streaming this that I've been noticing a fair few of the, let's just say, graphical oddities. As again, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you gotta bring up all these talking points, and then that just happens. Like, that one teetering rock in Mount Boom I've never seen before. So you just want to double check if I got the Chromium Orb over in Sulphur Rocks. It seems like the sort of place where I'd miss... yeah, that's... yeah, I got that one. I would say I've missed this music, but then again, I tend to listen... I have a tendency to listen to this a fair bit on Spotify, or at the very least, I did. Probably figured I should listen to a few more things on Spotify, to be perfectly honest. It has been a little bit, and admittedly don't tend to use it as much as I previously have. So admittedly, I must be playing a little bit of hell on my phone with just how many songs I have downloaded. It's kind of worrying, to be perfectly honest, how easy it is to just download like 1,000+ songs like it's nothing. Just wanted to double check around here. I don't... still think these sunflowers are quite weird, but I don't think there's any reason for the Chromium Orb to be around here, so... we'll keep searching. Preferably in this direction. This seems like the sort of area an item would be hidden. Just all these frogs. Let's have a look. Nope, nothing but frogs. Maybe I'm thinking this area with all the leeches. That seems like a fairly decent spot to try looking. I wonder if you can actually blow up the leeches. Yes, you can. Sweet, sweet retribution. For all those times you tried to eat me in the first game. And this game. How are we doing for bilbies, actually? I kind of forgot. So, bilbies... Yeah, we're doing good for bilbies. Okay, and... I think I got everything in here. Let's get out of here before the ping of the X-Rank drives us all insane. Curious to see if we can actually out... Nah, as far as I'm aware, it's... Oh, I think we actually did lose him. I've noticed there's kind of a pain to try and outrun a lot of these bikers. Let's have a look here. Oh no, there's just a gate here. Only other place I can think of which we might have missed is Wobbegong Bay, so... Let's say we have a quick look around there, and if we can't find anything, then I'll have to resort to drastic measures, aka just bringing up the guide again and hoping it can give us some directions into the best place to find chromium orbs. Because it does seem like the sort of area which I merely might have overlooked a little bit, just in the sake of avoiding all the dangerous sharks. Could have been something tucked away in the corner. Yes! I was right. How could I have been so blind? I've been here constantly just trying to grind for opals. So there we go. 86% complete. Southern Rivers, 100% complete. So all that really is left right now is the Never Never, so... I can only hope that finding the rest of the picture frames is that easy. I mean, if they are all in the sewer, fair enough. I just, thought I combed the area very thoroughly, and it turns out I didn't. No harm, no foul. It's kind of a shame that there's no real sort of fast travel at this point, though. Just gonna have to just watch me drive all the way over. Back to the Never Never, which... Again, we're gonna be in for the long haul with it, considering it has quite a few power-ups. Not power-ups, collectibles. Wondering if it would be easy just to fast travel back to Burramudgee at this point, but... You know, considering we're at the top half of the map already, I'm guessing not. I'm more sort of just worried about the health situation at this point. Is these bikers can strip it down quite quickly. I suppose I figured that, just to make up for my absence last week, that, I would just, make a head start on Emerald Legacy this Monday. Considering I sort of booked the day off, because I needed to book leave off, and I figured, I know, may as well just have myself an extra day off now. Because what? Yeah... Again, that really doesn't look good where I'm standing, where just the world just ends. And I will admit, Emerald Legacy is a game that I've been looking forward to playing for a long time, so I suppose you can say I've been fairly eager to get this over with so I can move on to the next thing, and after that, Also, I've kind of been considering getting into Klonoa too. The Steam version at the very least, not making the same mistake I did last time, which... It's one of those weird things, really, with the whole capture card problem. Where with the latency issues with my, at this time, old capture card, there was that sort of instance where I wasn't sure whether or not it was just the input lag or the fact that I was just bad at the game. I just defaulted to it being me being bad at the game because, of course, just saying it's the lag is always a, has always been a weak sort of argument to cope with lack of skill, so I figured may as well just cut out the middleman and just say I'm bad at the game. Anyways, here's the Never Never. And already we're just bombarded with collectibles here. I'm guessing these are all picture frames? Well, some of the very least. I imagine there's gonna be quite a few instances of just the, X-rank pinging like crazy. It is the rank I'm going to be defaulting to for most of this, just so we can find a lot of the collectibles more easily. As I know there are a few special tricks to some of these collectibles as well. Also, though, I definitely do quite like this music. I think it's called A Bit Lat in the Day. Obviously, a pun in late in the day. Though I'm not entirely certain what's really all that Latin about, if that makes any sense. Oh, and it's one of these instances we just have picture frames just out in the open. My favorites. I will admit, though, this setting has always been quite the interesting one for me. Get out of here, Oberfrill. This is absolutely murderated. Yeah, just the fact that you have this sort of prehistoric Jurassic Park area right next to oil refineries. I guess it wasn't such a big problem as the watering hole in Outback Safari, where it was just pumping crude oil into the water supply. I'm not sure I can actually grab that one from here. So... There we go. I was going to say, can I hit that from here? And the answer was no. We even got open flames here and everything. Just, you know, perfectly safe for preserving all these dinosaurs. Also gonna need to keep my warp ring handy for the time being. Can I make that from here? Yes, I can. And of course, this is the, for all intents and purposes, the last area of the game, so... Assuming I've collected everything, after this we should have... everything except those picture frames. I want to be thorough. Again, it really does feel as though at this point there's really no impetus for you to use the standard boomerang. Because obviously in the base game that would have been replaced by the infra rank at this point. The multi-rank at this point, which then again you wouldn't really use over the X-rankers. I guess you could say the power scaling is more so just with the prices of the stuff you get, but at the same time, once you do get all the endgame stuff, it really just is a case of you have all these boomerangs, and yet you'll only likely use the Deadly Rang, the Warp Rang, and the X Rang. Maybe the Lava Rang, the Thunder Rang, and the Freezer Rang in certain situations, but... It's like the Omega Rang gets outclassed, Everything gets outclassed, and here I am just wondering, trying to remember how I get all these collectibles. Because I'm not going to be leaving until I've 100%ed this place, as we do have the capacity to do so. I guess the only thing we can really do in this situation is move on. I think it's one of those instances where you see something, and then you can't really do anything about it until you access something else later on in the level. At least as far as I remember. Let's see, go up here. And this place really does have just a whole bunch of cogs lying around. And a door we can break with a explosive. I was trying to say wall. Literally just a chromium orb around here. Kind of feels unceremonious, though. Gotta wonder how exactly this plant managed to survive just with all as little light as possible. Okay, so that goes all the way back to... Oh, so that's what lowers that. So we can get that cog. Really just sort of incentivizes you to just search every nook and cranny of this particular level, which, I'm not gonna lie, is gonna take a while. At least one of you have picture for... Nope. Keep expecting at least one of these to have picture frames in them. I guess not. Don't mind me, I'm just, as you would say, vibing to the music. There we go, I think that's what we need. Perfect. And hopefully there's nothing else around here which I need to worry about. Oh, there's a Bilby coming up. Good to know at the very least. And, alright, I think, we technically have another mission here. Heck yeah. Red, yellow, blue, green. Red, yellow, blue. It really is just Simon Says. Purple, purple, green, yellow, red. And there we go. That's the whole mission. Literally just plays Simon Says with the dinosaurs. Fairly certain that's an Archaeopteryx. At least mostly certain. Was yeah, kind of unnerving just having all these pterodactyls going over my head. Kind of giving me flashbacks to the Terminids. Ah, this must be your caravan. Yes, we've already met before, back in Sulphur Rocks. Jeez Louise. Alright, what do your enemies call you then?
So, here you have a problem?
Yes, my interstellar time cruiser, caravan, has crash-landed on the other side of this hot molten lava, and is teetering perilously.
Doesn't look to be teetering to me, it looks like it's floating.
Why would a caravan have heat shields?
Why would a caravan have heat shields?
Burning upon re-entry to Earth's atmosphere, of course.
Okay. I'll see if I can help you out.
Well, a potential client is a potential client is a potential client. Funnily enough, there are multiple ways you can actually go about this. It's one of those rare instances where you can just swing over to it like Spider-Man. You can swim over with the thermo bunyip, or you can use the frosty rang to hop your way over.
How do I get it going?
Try kicking it.
Ah yes, just... Even advanced spacefaring technology can be,
Time, mate. Julius is just...
this is where we actually theoretically get to the end of the game. But yeah, as I was gonna say, even interstellar high-tech, transport can be best fixed simply by applying, how most people put it, just manual force. That's probably not the best way of putting it, but, there's another cog over here. I think this is where we're just going to be finding the bulk of them, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, let's, get into the thermo bunyip, see if there's any other collectibles we can get around here, because I have a feeling there are. Oh, so yeah, you can just platform on these with the thermo bunyip. Oh yeah, and there's a Bilby here. Good to know. Ooh, there's a tunnel here. With no lava eels to worry about this time. Here he is, the last appearance of Goobu Steve. This, as far as I'm aware, is the last time we'll ever see him in this game, so, hopefully he has some inspiring words of wisdom for us in this, our last appearance.
Will you quit following me? I'm trying to keep a low profile, and it's very hard to do with you showing up all the time. For all I know, they could have followed you here.
Who is they?
Peace and quiet. Is that too much to ask for? Is it? Look, if I give you this, you'll promise to leave, okay? Here you go.
Well, that was kind of, distressing. You know, I just wanted to hang out with my good friend Goober Steve, and he tells me he doesn't want me around anymore. Well, at least he was, up front with it, I suppose. Aw. I'm gonna miss him. I have no idea who he was, but he was always such a riot to be around. Well, I guess there's nothing for it. We're just gonna have to continue on our quest without him. Our quest to, I guess, rescue aliens, blow up dinosaurs. Go up against whatever these guys are supposed to be. Those ones in particular really sort of remind me of something out of Star Fox Adventures. I gotta say, that one's really gonna be an interesting one if I ever get to streaming it, mostly just because of the Trial of Fear. I tried doing that, and, it didn't turn out so well. So, how that would fare with input lag, I cannot be certain. Okay, so we break into that, and that brings us over to these platforms. Okay, so they sink once you hop on them. Good to know. Now, can I make it to that one from here? Okay, no. As far as I'm aware, there must be some alternate ways of lowering that platform. Or, you know, just a flower. Okay, those are all synced down there for the time being. Hopefully there's a means of lowering that platform. What is going on with those trees? It really is just like the sunflowers. They grow and shrink in real time. It's kind of distressing. Again, it really reminds me of those weird spike things from the distortion world. Okay. Oh, well, here's the caravan and more picture frames. I want to clear out as much of this area as I can.
G'day, I'm Ty from Bush Rescue.
Thanks for coming so quickly. My sister Pepper and I were doing some rock climbing in those hills when a dinosaur scared us and we ran in different
Oh,
directions.
Pepper, eh?
She's
Just,
not the best rock climber in the world,
As long as you don't drink soda with Anson, I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
I'll see what I can do.
Also, I gotta admit that particular outfit really just sort of reminds me of that one particular, Star Trek The Next Generation episode where Riker is disguised as an alien. Okay, so you can't be held on to be standing on the very edge of those indefinitely. Okay, so that opens those gates. Yeah, it just sort of reminds me of that one episode where Riker is disguised as an alien and they gets badly injured, and you have all these particular citizens of this one planet, scientists, just thinking, oh my god, there's this alien among us. And then you just have one of the scientists is just like, I've never made love to an alien before. And you're just like, ah. I get that it's a Riker episode and that's what he's known for, but at the same time, I can't help but find it just particularly funny just how blunt it is in that respect. Also, okay, so Platinum Cog over there and another spy. Unfortunately, I can't hit you from here, so I'm just gonna have to do this ye olde fashioned way. Which I think also means moving my platform. But you can do that. Is there any particular reason why I'm reminded of that particular episode? I'm just gonna say for the sake of the stream, no. And just defy physics by moving the platform by doing that. Just want to make sure to stand in the absolute middle of this. I gotta admit, this is, weirdly enough, one of the levels in this game I am quite nostalgic for. Also, just for traveling through this particular area in the wee hours of the evening, just on my own, just maybe drink.
Hey there! What? You know, you shouldn't sneak up on people like that.
You're Pepper, aren't you?
Yeah.
Your sister's worried sick about you.
Oh my gosh! Pippa? I forgot all about her.
The name literally is Pippa.
Right up here with this beautiful scenery. I was supposed to meet her at the campsite ages ago.
Yeah, the scenery is quite beautiful, isn't it?
I'm out of here.
Next to all these literal lava geysers, just totally seems safe to me. Was there actually anything in here? Seems kind of weird that this gate was just opens to this, and this is nothing. What secrets are you hiding from me? Non-ambiguous clearing. Alright, let's just reset and go back and get that cog, and then we can get on to trying to figure out how to get the rest of the stuff. It's weird, actually. I did say that the Never Never is the biggest area, which is technically correct due to this. It's the one level which has a load zone right in the middle of it. But so far, he hasn't necessarily felt that big, if that makes any sense. Yes, maybe that's why I have such a fondness for it, all things considered. That I like the music. Let's see, just gotta angle this just there we go. I also think it might be apt to have a look at the mission list, see what we're missing. So, we got Dennis Dash, we got C. Dennis, that's 2. So, we're technically just missing 3, which I think includes the final mission, so in terms of missions, I'd say we're all good. I can get you from here. I said I can get you from here. Fall down. There we go. Can I get over there from here? Yes, I can. There we go. So let's see. I'm fairly certain there's only... let's just have a look. Let's have a look. Never Never. 55% complete. So there's 8 cogs, 3 orbs, 1 spy, and 3 bilbies left. So first things first, my main objective is going to be to clear out this half of the map.
Thanks so much for finding my sister, Ty.
No problem. Alright. So, checked over there as far as I'm aware. From the looks of it... Wow, there's 2 cogs that I missed around this area. Wow. Wild. Was that one? Oh. There's one... Oh, there's one directly below me. Ah. Ah. Still have to wonder where exactly this... The switch for that particular thing must be nearby. That is a certainty. Probably just not... Oh. It was right at the start. Again, I just proved to myself that the bunny brain isn't exactly the most calculating. There we go. Camera? There we go. Honestly, it is kind of a wonder I'm even allowed back in Australia at this point. Given, reputations and whatnot. So, let's have a look-see. Bilby should be... Oh, there it is. G'day, mate. I believe aside from this, there's still a whole bunch of picture frames which are probably unaccounted for. Those are going to be fun to hunt down. Fairly certain I got these already. Got whatever's up there, I'm pretty sure. Say I cleared through this quite efficiently, but can't help but feel I'm missing something. Yeah, there's like 12 picture frames, which feels like it equates more so to I don't know, probably just there all in the other half of the map. That wouldn't be surprising. Again, though, this has felt quite a short excursion for the Never Never. Probably just because I get so caught up in trying to find all the collectibles that it usually takes me a lot longer. We will find the Curse of the Never Never soon enough. There's that one collectible which takes me forever to find. It's the law of this game, after all. Okay, so platforms are just sort of stuck down here for the time being. There we go. Second time's the charm. Now to move on to the second part of the map, which I'm fairly certain is smaller, though it may just be, it's more open. I think that's what I recall about it. Alright, these little fellas are kind of endearing in a strange little way. Oh, there's crates here as well. Sadly no invisible one. Sadly no picture frame ones. Is what I meant to say. Alright. Looks like I'm just gonna have to go through you. It's kind of weird, between the deadly rangs and just how much health you can get, this is probably the most overpowered you can get in this entire game. That being said, though, I am kind of intrigued personally, to try out the third game. Mostly because I feel it has a whole bunch of elements which I, kind of like. I mean, the main thing that what it calls the close rank combat, as I know, is a kind of divisive, but I mean, also the customization options that are available to you. Ah, so you jump on them multiple times and then they run. Okay, that's interesting to note. So they're not just down permanently, you actually have to jump on them again. Okay, let's move on to part 2 of the map. It is technically... Okay, so it is just one big map. It just requires a load zone between. Look at them go. They do move in herds.
Hey, Dennis! Relax, mate. It's me, Ty.
Oh, Ty, are you a sight for sore eyes? Those ghastly beasts...
I mean, especially with the skin on, I can certainly see you'll get sore eyes.
Could you be a kind chap and help me out?
No worries.
Thank you so much. Be careful, though. They're very strong.
Very strong. And very dopey looking. I'm sure they're herbivorous. Anyways, this is the last mission here is an escort mission, but it is arguably one of my favorite in the game, just for this reason. You get to punch dinosaurs in the face. It's like you punch them once and they just get laid out like that. It's hilarious. And then you just punch them while they're down, and... I don't know, these dinosaurs aren't exactly strong. It's more so just... Fighting them is kind of hilarious. Down you go. Let's see what the ground pound does to him. Just take a single iota of damage from you in this thing, and they just fall over like they're in football. As in the football where you use your feet. Denoise? Denoise? I'm just gonna assume he's alright. Oh yeah, we got a grinding segment here, which is arguably one of the more challenging in the game. Okay, so there we go, just Denoise just casually serpentining his way through the trees on the longest route possible. Oh, this place literally has picture frames growing on trees. It's a rock dinosaur hunter. Yeah, pretty much. Except I'm pretty certain you didn't have a battle mech which you could use to just... Oh, dang it, I skipped the cutscene. Basically, it was saying, oh yes, I can make a thing in the Never Never. Now, thanks to you, Ty, punching these dinosaurs in the face. It's like I saw the problem to get out of the thing, and it just made me skip the cutscene. I'm more angry at myself than anything. Anyways, I think this place also has some of the more interesting challenges for collectibles. Obviously, you have this grind rail segment here where you have to jump in order to avoid the tree branches. And just stop by all these little inclines on the way to gather what collectibles you can find. All the while the dinosaurs have respawned. Let's see, just Bilby down here. Let me just check Bill. Okay. There's one more Bilby around here somewhere. Doesn't specify where. I think it might be actually on the other half of the map. Let me just go back. As these dinosaurs just casually just try to take a peck out of me. Because yeah, there are just... I cannot stress enough, there are just dinosaurs here now. And as far as I'm aware, they don't appear in the next game. They're just confined all the way here to the Never Never. Which I don't think we ever actually come back to, except for... I think one time, and even then there's no dinosaurs. I want to check actually does the deadly rank. Does the deadly rank do anything to them? The answer is no. Okay, so we actually have come across something which the deadly rank is ineffective against. Color me surprised. Now, since we are, I may as well just blast this open as well. Another cog. As far as I'm aware, usually at this point of the playthrough I am pretty much close to 100%, because of course, usually I'm not super concerned about missing stuff back in Baramuchi Town, which I'm definitely hoping that it's not the case that I have just missed just a whole bunch of stuff in the sewers. That's going to be embarrassing. Okay, the Bilby is here. I just spotted it on the map. So I just gotta bob and weave between all these dinosaurs, which look more like those weird bird things you can get, which just like poke their beaks in and out like little glasses of water. I'm sure you know the ones I mean. They're in that one episode of The Simpsons where Homer decides to work from home by becoming a 400-pound behemoth. The one where he's in the moo-moo. That clears things up. I will admit I haven't really watched any Simpsons in forever. So I mostly just have memories of stuff relating to and before the movie. Mostly just hearing negative stuff about particularly bad episodes like the Lady Gaga one. Oh yeah, and this is also the only instance in the game where you find the mushrooms from the first game. And they just teleport you up to here. And you even get a nice little 3,000 opals for your troubles. It really does feel kind of surreal to me. Just this one thing, which was a major gameplay element of the first game. And it's the only place it appears. There we go, that's the last Bilby. So as far as I'm aware, yeah, just 4 cogs left to go. Oh yeah, there's one which is not available to us at the moment. Gotcha.
Oh, brilliant work, mate. You've done a top-notch job. That'll take care of Cass's spies.
And that's all the spies.
Think twice before he tries a stunt like that again.
Yeah, he's right. That particular mechanic doesn't appear at all in the next game. Okay. So I guess it really is just the case that all the collectibles now, the last one, are just in this one area. And as far as I'm aware, that's the last chromium orb we can get here as well. Let me just check. 96% complete, wow. So, the Never Never, that's... Oh, there's only 1 chromium orb left, okay. And, 3 cogs. And 7 picture frames. Doing pretty good, all things considered. Oh, okay, there's the last chromium orb. Now, there's something particularly about this particular section of the game always kind of feels homely to me. I guess mostly because of this. There's this one random hut out here, which I want to say is Gubu Steve's. Not 100% certain, though. There's a nice little button here. Which just spawns more platforms for you to get over there. Look at all these opals, which we can now get, which I don't need. Oh yeah, just a whole bunch of invisible crates here. Okay. So I think... Picture frames, picture frames... Just 4 picture frames left in the right there. So... Surprisingly efficient with my clear out of the Never Never, it seems. Here I was just making this whole big song and dance about, oh, it's gonna be a nightmare trying to collect everything, and here we are. I just gotta figure out how to get there. Oh wait, there's a ladder. I just realized. There we go, that's all the picture frames in the Never Never, so just need to find a way to get down to the chromium orb. Oh wait, there's a lacerang hook over there. And there we go. surprisingly quick and painless. Okay, so all that's left now is 97%. Never Never, all that's left are those 2 cogs, and then we can go. I suppose that's another thing I kind of like about the Never Never. A lot of its collectibles seem complex to get, but really aren't. It's kind of a, well, I don't want to say easy, more just sort of a efficient thing for you to go and cleave through, which is more than I can say for Sulfur Rocks. I guess that's the whole thing. It's a lot less painful to try and 100% this compared to Sulfur Rocks. I think the main thing we have to worry about now is this, this thing right here. It's a time switch, so, I'm gonna wait to try that again. Yeah, you basically just have to zoom across the grind rail in order to get to that cog. I never like these particular challenges, to be perfectly honest. But, there. That's Never Never 100% complete, and we never have to come back here. So, with that being said, I'm just gonna return to Baramudji, and we can spend a whole, portion of the game just trying to find these last few picture frames. I'm gonna try the sewer first. Well, gee, that doesn't look ominous at all in the slightest. Yeah, I'm gonna try the sewer first, just blast through there with the deadly rags. Go try to find as many areas as I can and just blow it all to smithereens. And failing that, we just wander around the HQ for a little bit and just hope we get lucky. Considering how many picture frames we have left to get, I'm led to assume that it is the case that most of them are in the sewers, so let's get in there. What have you got to say for me now, Ranger Kid? Riveting. Alright. I'm just gonna go in there with a deadly rag and just blow everything away. I'd hoped we'd never have to come back in here, but, fates can be cruel. Oh, there's one, so I guess it is the case that I just missed everything in the sewers, so just sort of have to hope that everything is actually in here. Because, as far as I'm aware, it is kind of easy to get lost in here. Well, it's just kind of funny how just crazy infraring gets in here, just with the echoing. Just look at all these readings! You might want to see this, Captain. Again, I will stress at the very least it's nice that areas of the sewers are color-coded so you know where you are and where you're going. Which is more than I can say for the original iteration of the library. I suppose, speaking of which, I did admittedly decide to get rid of the Combat Evolved Rebellion streams as they weren't exactly all that popular, and admittedly I'm not entirely certain as to whether Halo is strictly something that I should be doing on the channel. Considering it's not exactly the most relevant at the moment. And I doubt it will truly ever be again, because I'm gonna be brutally honest, I don't exactly have hopes for this next Halo Studios project they're supposedly doing, which is likely a Combat Evolved remake, which I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely certain I even want. This feels like more one of those things that they're just doing because everything else they've done has been a complete and total failure, so may as well try to do something which sort of works at the very least. It would be kind of hilarious if the Halo remake ends up failing as well and they're just left with nothing. I mean, purely just from a Schadenfreude perspective, because obviously I, at the very least, was a bit of a Halo fan in the late 2000s, sort of Halo 3 ODST. Basically, when around the time Bungie would basically decide to cut ties with the series, ironically enough. Let's check around here next. Those feel at the very least that have been at least somewhat thorough. Worst case scenario, just run around Bush Ratio HQ some more. The plan for me initially was to stream Halo 2 Rebalance when it came out, because that also looks pretty promising and ambitious, but considering he's still working on it after so long, I kind of have a feeling it's probably not the sort of thing to really bank on. I mean, then again, I am kind of surprised that people want me to do Cyberpunk so much, but I guess it's more sort of due to the fact that Cyberpunk is still kind of popular nowadays, with how it was revamped with Edge Runners. Which I've definitely heard a lot of interesting things about. I think I've gotten all the invisible crates down here. At the very least, Infrarang isn't going absolutely haywire again. Okay, so that's the entrance. Just want to make absolutely sure that I've gotten everything. Okay, so from the looks of it, well, as far as I'm aware, the only places which had picture frames in Burramungi Town were the sewers and HQ, so we're going to be wandering around HQ for a little bit until we happen to stumble across them and we can just go right into the end game. This whole thing has gone a lot smoother than I was anticipating, to be perfectly honest, so I'm thinking if we have time, and I reckon we are going to have time, I think I'll probably just check out some of the concept art. I mean, obviously there's going to be a little bit of an Easter egg in the credits, which, admittedly, I'm kind of worried about. But, we'll get there when we get there. For now, where are these last picture frames? The question of the day, because I'm fairly certain that none of them are in these invisible crates, because obviously most of them are just filled with opals, and any which were invisible I already cleared out, so not sure I'll find any around here. One place I can think to check is over here by the tutorial area for the Flamerang. I don't think I necessarily hang around here for too often. Also, a nice little tidbit about the Deadly Rang. Or really any Rang which can smash. You kind of just deletes one of the functions of the Flamerang, which kind of funny, kind of sad. Just it doesn't really feel that there really was much weapon balance in this game, to be brutally honest. Which on one hand I kind of at the very least sort of respect the fact that you can just bust the game wide open. Let's have a look-see, so... Oh, we do have all 30 chromium orbs, so... May as well get the last map from Madame Morpok while I'm here. Unfortunately, we don't get anything for picture frames. It's it. The last map is for the Goo Boo Steve locations, which is funny because Goo Boo Steve is arguably the easiest of the collectibles to find, because he usually just has his own little dedicated areas. So usually that's the best one to save for last. Oh yeah, and we can get most of the collectibles. As in the, okay, so... We get camo, and we get the old 4x, which I think is mostly based on the design of the 4x from the first game. Just gonna get that for the time being, and then there's one cog left, which... There is one area we haven't gone to yet, which is where the last cog is, I'll just say that much. But we won't get to that until a little bit. For now, Madame Morpok. It's a shame haven't come across you all that often.
Welcome back, my friend.
I have no idea what she's even supposed to be. I'm guessing some kind of owl? Bird, at the very least, I'm guessing.
I sense that you have made the right choice.
Also, the lighting effects on those... I'm guessing those are supposed to be okay, those are in the background. I was gonna say, the lights on those candles are entirely the wrong places, but I think the layering on them is off as well. Like the lights, but is supposed to be in front of her hand instead of behind it. I've never noticed this before. Also, those flame effects look more so like just explosions just paused in the middle of them, if that makes any sense. Anyways, enough of that. I'm sure she's quite popular with people like Amelia, but... Dustbin. For now, we have more picture frames to try and hunt down. As far as I'm aware, they're only going to be located in Burmudge HQ, so... Let's get to hunting. I say Burmudge HQ, it's Bush Rescue HQ, my bad. I think first and foremost we'll try the tutorial area. I don't see any reason why there would be any in the tutorial area, but I suppose it's good to try and be thorough. In a way, it's sort of like going full circle. Just traveling all the way back through this whole thing. Cause it's like, look how far we've come since the start of the game. Yeah, I should have figured there were no collectibles in here. It's kind of a shame, but I feel it would have been just sort of a nice little incentive to actually do the tutorial. I definitely feel as though there's some stuff hidden around here which I've missed off. Like, probably around the back here. That sort of feels like some sort of area which I would have missed off. I'm just gonna go through the Kaboomerang. Sorry, Deadly Rang, and just, clear out as much as I can, because that's the only thing that comes to mind. Oh, there were just a whole bunch up on the roof. Okay. Can I get up on the roof? Can I get up on the roof? Okay, I can get up on the roof, just not from here. Okay. So there's just a whole bunch I missed there. And let's have a look-see. So, just 5 more hidden around here somewhere. Me thinks they're just gonna be in some sort of random steel container somewhere around here. Maybe in here? You look mighty suspicious, friend. Oh. Oh, that was embarrassing. Just... They're all just in this one container, which I just missed off. Oh. But in any case, 98% complete. All that's left, one cog, one mission. I think for this I'm gonna swap around outfits for the time because I've been playing around with the cyberpunk outfit, which I do like, but I think for this I want to go back to the prototype because I feel it's a little bit more... Actually, let's go to the default. And 4x, we'll just go with the old 4x. And let's go see what Julius wants, finally, since now there's nothing left for us to do.
Oh dear, this data nut contains some rather disturbing information.
Oh, sorry, that's my Affinity account.
Building a diabolical machine. A machine capable of sucking the warm-blooded...
I probably shouldn't joke about that, but... Only now do we find out the main plan of the villain.
Crikey! Those are the buff-headed new lizards I've been seeing around the place.
These warm-blooded uber lizards are bigger, stronger, and faster.
Some might say they're harder and better as well.
Unstoppable army, so he could take over southern rivers and eventually the world.
I mean, nice and all. How do they fare against conventional weapons? Yeah, this is kind of awkward, just having a whole bunch of opal bags just floating here.
Which is why we need to move fast. What the?
Maramuchi is under attack.
Oh no! Who could have possibly seen this coming? So yeah, the crates here are mostly just here so you have at least some means of defeating all these uber fills. In case you don't have any super ranks available to you.
I don't believe it. Cass has kidnapped the entire town. Look, he left a note.
What does it say?
Dear Ty.
There's still time to save him, mate.
How do you actually put on a note, to be honest? Did he just... Alright, that's the entrance to the final level, and... Nice. So as far as I'm aware, there's not really much left for us to do, aside from just have a look at the name of the final level / mission. Boss Cass Bust Up. Boss Cass must be beaten up. I don't know, for some reason when I saw it the first time I just found it super amusing.
There are literally billions and billions of things that haven't been invented yet.
Julius seems mighty content with himself, despite the whole town being abandoned, which I may as well go check and have a look. I mean, obviously this guy here is fine. You know, just was just lucky enough to avoid all the oncoming uber lizards and explosions. But yeah, let's just have a real sort of sneak peek in Baramuji Town, see if Sheza wasn't kidding. And yeah, everyone is gone. Even Lenny. Not sure what Cass would have wanted with Lenny, but he's gone. The construction crew here trying to lift this car off from the river. We've been spending 4 parts and several hours doing it, and yet have achieved nothing. I mean, Ranger Ken's here, and he seems fine.
G'day.
Well, there seems to be a lot of yelling going on outside my window, weirdly enough. Let's see who... So yes, Sai is gone. Not sure what he would have wanted with a rusty old duplicate of me. Oh, Denwas is fine. Of all the people who didn't get kidnapped, you didn't.
Hello, Ty.
What have you... Your people, the people you have sworn to protect, have all been kidnapped. And you're just sat here doing what? Looking after your bird bath? Honestly, Denwas, you should be fired. It's a wonder you are, in fact, head of Bush Rescue. And you! You, Sergeant Bluey! Why were you when this whole thing went down?
Remember to stop, look, listen, and smell before you cross the road.
You're a disgrace to the Force! Of course, Trader Bob's here, because obviously you need all your vendors here in case you want to get extra stuff. I feel it would have just added a little bit extra detail if both stores here were shut at this point in the game, just to sort of really sell the fact that, yeah, everyone is gone.
G'day, son. Let me know if you need a hand.
And meanwhile, my parents are here just completely oblivious to the fact that the entire town has been kidnapped. Love you, though. I can bear... I've fairly certain I've only ever done that once, just checked on the town after the kidnapping and just... It never occurs to me that just... Oh yeah, all the major sort of main characters are fine, everybody else is just gone. I mean, I suppose Lenny is the only one who, got kidnapped, who was sort of somewhat important from the last game, in that he appeared in one level. Anyways, let's go on and, beat the game.
Let's do it, sir. Let's face off against that cad boss Cass.
Hey, wait up, Possum. You're not leaving without me.
For me. It's time for me to pay back an old debt.
Alright. Let's heckin' do this. We're gonna do a do. As the environment fails to render properly. Ta-da! Actual military-grade hardware.
Cool. What is it?
It's a missile bunyip.
Missiles with chain guns.
Rightio, chaps. We're over the drop zone. Prepare to engage.
Oh, look at him. He's looks. Look at him. He looks so heckin' cool in that one thing, and then yeah, the Shez are in a battle bunyip. There's a missile bunyip with minigun turrets, and then there's us in our uber-powered Gary Stu mech.
Is that a shadow bunyip?
Sounds like you've got bunyip envy, Sly. Don't worry, I like yours too.
So yeah,
Look out. Incoming.
using the Shadow Drive we collected from Fluffy, we now have the Shadow Bunyip, which is basically just the Battle Bunyip Plus. Instead of the ground pound, though, we get a laser gun. We hold down the laser button, and we get a fairly awkward to aim Kamehameha laser. And of course, the main color scheme of the Ultimate Life Force just sort of sell the fact that yes. I felt that we're really on the nose with calling it the Shadow Bunyip as well. You know, it's black and red, it's called the Shadow Bunyip, it's the quote-unquote Ultimate Bunyip. It's like the Year of Shadow happened. It's like you were 20 years too early for the Year of Shadow, mate. Also kind of weird that this game takes a whole bunch of cues and references to Adventure 2, and yet the quote-unquote Shadow-like character in this game, Sly, doesn't really get much plot relevance until the end, where he joins us in this final gauntlet against the hordes of Cass's minions. With this weird whistle soundtrack, I mean, the guitars are still pretty cool, but I always found the warbling to be kind of a odd choice, especially for a final level. Like, it doesn't feel nearly as iconic as, say, Cass's Past to me. Just love the music in Cass's Past. Just the guitars, the riffs, it just all comes together to at the very least feel like an awesome track. Whereas here it's just tries to be a fitting final level track, and I guess it sort of does. After a fashion, just again, not a big fan of the alien warbling. I guess is that way of making the whole level feel tense. Also, how much health do these things have? I'm surprised Cass doesn't just throw a whole bunch of those at us and call it a day. Feels like there should be some kind of collectible here, but here we are in Cass's run. There's only one collectible here. Just have to make absolutely sure I don't miss it. I know at the very least it's not in this section of the level. It happens later.
Looks like Cass doesn't want us to leave.
Struth! What in the world is that?
It's Patchy. He's a cyber
He'll be sore after we finish with him.
Ha ha ha. Yeah. So right in the middle of this level we get a boss rush, and in the base game this is the only instance in which you're able to refight the bosses. Or at least some of them. And needless to say, in the Shadow Bunny you can kind of make quick work of them. Get over here, you. I don't even think you need the charge beam for that. Also, the walking as they turn animation right out of Pokemon Sword and Shield. A game that came out in like 2018. Or was it 2019? I kind of forget. I'm gonna say 2019 just for the sake of it. Whereas this came out in 2004. Also, yeah, Buster. We fight Buster again, and this fight admittedly kind of feels like an afterthought, because obviously compared to the original Buster fights, he just goes down in 2 hits. I get this is technically sort of a mid-level mini-boss, so they kind of don't want it to last too long, but I feel considering it's Buster, I could see them being justified in just being 3 hits, but I guess that's just me. There he goes, as airships just clip in and out of the geometry pit. What is going on with this game? I've never seen that before. That's usually never like that. Anyways, I may as well, while we're here, see if we can go into a little bit of the secret, because this area of the map does have a little secret dedicated to it. With these switches. There's 4 of them dotted around the arena. As far as I'm... Okay, 5 of them dotted around the arena, and we just have to, try and hit them all. That's 1. Can I hit that from here? Possibly not. Okay, that's 2 out of 3. Come on. This clock is stressing me out. Ow. Yeah, there's one obviously around the back here. Yeah, obviously one here, which I... How did I miss? And then the last one, which is around there. There we go. We hit all those switches, and it opens up a secret path for us to take. I don't think I've seen very many people actually take this route. In fact, I didn't really know about it back when I was a kid, so let's explore and see what we get. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of these high health robots here. Again, I have to get used to aiming the super laser. Or, you know, I could just spam this out. This is kind of morbid in a way, and they're just walking in and just firing squad. Just bang, 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 bang. And while this would have been a nice spot for the final cog to be in, instead what we get, doing this little challenge here, and going for all these super beefy tanky robots, is a bag of opals. It looks like a normal bag of opals until we beat this guy to death, and it's 10,000 opals, which is pretty nice if you haven't already gotten everything in the game, but I have, so just sort of a pointless little, hey, this is kind of a little neat little side thing prize. Yeah, kind of neat if you already don't have everything, but again, you can unlock all the stuff either by just cheesing all of it with cheat codes, or by doing the grinding for opals back in Wobbegone Bay, which is, honestly, given how long this takes, probably the more efficient means. Because you can get 10,000 opals there quicker than it would take for you to do that one challenge, as well as just getting through all of Cass's run up to this point. Because you still gotta beat Patchy and Buster beforehand, so... Nice little prize for those of you getting out to... for you to go out your way for, but ultimately not the most necessary. I think it's around here where the last cog is. Unfortunately, I don't have my my X-Frag equipped, so I'm just gonna have to try and find it the old-fashioned way. Fairly certain it's around here, though, as the area around here gets a lot more mechanized. That's it, get into the corner. Get into the corner. And I'm definitely looking forward to not having to fight these things again. Down you go. Yeah, fairly certain the last cog is around here somewhere. Yeah, I think it's here. And this little lava segment, which leads me to wonder whether this... What is going on with this map? I know that you're not exactly looking up to see that, but... What is that? Anyway, here's the last cog. I know this is supposed to be sort of an experimental build in order to get the extra rangs and such, but I didn't think it was this experimental. Kamehameha! It is pretty satisfying to actually pull that off when you're able to. Just punch, 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 punch. There we go. We just have to get... It is sort of super satisfying to just delete these little cannon guys as well with the laser. Pew, pew. There we go, and that's 50 cogs. Still 98% completion, though, which is kind of odd, but as far as I'm aware, all that's left now is to complete the final mission and defeat the final boss. And then that's it. We did it. We beat the game. And in fairly decent time, I must admit. I was expecting this to go on a little bit longer. I guess that's just sort of the Never Never for you. I was expecting it to be super long, and it turns out it wasn't. Also, not sure what happens to the camera here. It kind of feels like we hit another load zone here, weirdly enough. Even though all it really is just this area filled with more of these, fire breathers. Get out of my face. Come on, There we go. Funnily enough, I don't think it's actually wise to do that for the final boss. Because, yeah, we're going into it with... Where did your bunyips go?
See if you can free the Baromachi townies. Going after Cass.
No worries.
What is it, Chezza?
And there he goes. Not to be seen again.
Okay, Possum.
I'll be right. Hey, Chezza.
Aww.
See you around like a rizzo.
It's nice actually seeing relationships in media for once. Back when it was allowed. As opposed to now where we just resort to shipping. Even when a character has basically zero chemistry. Just goes by the whims of the writer and not what makes sense in the universe. It really is the female version of power scaling in that sense. Anyways. Down we go, into the depths. The dark, dark depths. Whee! Once again, in another active volcano. Australia seems to be full of these, I've noticed.
Blame yourself, Cass. You mess with me mates, you mess with me.
I mean, it's small wonder people say that Australians are just British people who are further along in their tech trees. Considering they have to put up with bushfires and all this crazy seismic activity. Oh no. Okay, just actually have to remember to use the lock-on. The lock-on is a feature that exists in this game. Also nice to see that he just straight up has an invincibility period, so you can't just spam him down. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, the boss icons for this whole fight are kind of borked as well. Or at least they were in the final game. And now he has a mech in order to match us. One which is resistant to laser fire. Because, yeah. The health bar for this is indicated by the nanobots which we were fighting previously. It's kind of weird. But yeah. This fight is kind of simple in all honesty. You just wait for him to mince up to you and ground pound like that, and then you just punch him in the face. Simple as, really. It's kind of weird. I feel as though I've sort of been neglecting the lock-on for the longest time. Then again, with stuff like the Deadly Rank, I suppose it wasn't necessarily required. Pew pew pew. I suppose this is kind of imposing in a way. Just, with how big it is compared to my supposedly super all-powerful Shadow Bunyip. And here he comes with just this crazy-looking thing. Alright, I think we've seen enough of this phase for now. Just, there he goes, just... Oh no! Well, guy's head literally exploded. And there he is, just looking uber furious as he's surrounded by ancient power by the looks of it. Yeah, he just starts throwing magma at you in this third phase. Where the... What the heck was that? You saw that, right? It just literally spawned in the lava. I'm not sure what was up with that, for honesty. Yeah. I think the main thing here is you just have to either wait for... You have to wait for him to throw all his lava at you before you can hit him. So it sort of becomes a case of getting close to him and just avoiding all his... the rocks he throws at you, which you can just do with a hover. Just gotta be wary of the lava pillars, and then there's the final phase. Guess what you have to do here? He has no attacks. He has no means of defending himself. All he does in this stage is just run around the arena. Which, I suppose this would be the sort of part of, say, a Mega Man game where Dr. Wily's just on the floor begging for forgiveness, but, here, in Australia, we got catharsis. Time to fry this turkey. You know what, just for the sake of it, I'll let you go out in style! That was anticlimactic.
Ow! It's over, Cass.
Oh, and now you show up in your missile bunyip.
Hey, it was all a bit of fun. I hope I wasn't out lying with that crack about you turning your friends into high school.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. How about you join my team, huh? I could use a couple of good men.
You have zero leverage here, man.
And nice jackets.
Fat chance, Cass.
We already have nice jackets.
Oh, it's just not fair.
Most unfortunate.
And Carlos seemingly escapes. Up. Not sure what happened there.
Acts of bravery. I am proud to present these medals made of the most exquisite Thunder Eggs.
Yeah, remember Thunder Eggs from the last game?
And Ty, the Tasmanian tiger.
And you even get the little kiss back. They are quite cute together. And they have a lot of fun dialogue as well in the third game. Meanwhile, Cass is, what even is that he's in the bowl? I gotta wonder, and, what are they doing handling opals? You never wonder, because these are supposed to be currency.
This is so humiliating.
And, that's it. That's Tie 2 Bush Rescue. I remember saying back when I first played through this HD remaster that this was my favorite of the 3 games. Whilst I still definitely had a good time with it, now, especially after playing 3, I'm kind of in doubt, to be perfectly honest. Of course, we got the original release credits, where it credits EA. But, yeah. I think as far as I'm aware, we can't exactly skip this. We're just here, just watching Ty on the rotary washing line. What many would say is the only invention of Australia, which I suppose is kind of cruel in a way, but I think this is supposed to be one of the helicopter maps, given how much water there is. Wouldn't be surprised though, but I will say I always quite like the skybox, especially with the music at the start. Just really emanates the more calm, relaxed feel that I experienced from mainly the first and second games. Obviously, the third game goes for an entirely different sort of atmosphere. Steve Sly Williams. It's kind of weird to me in hindsight, given how much of a inspiration Sonic Adventure 2 seemingly was on this game. I definitely would have thought that Sly would have had a more prominent role in the story. I mean, I wouldn't specifically say playable, just be more prominent than just a vendor who gives you all the best stuff in the game, which... I suppose it would be funny if they remade this game and just featured a Sly episode. He just has to goes through his whole arc from the first game again, where he's like boss Cass trying to recruit him back on his side, and Sly's going no, and possibly going into his definitely not tragic backstory, because obviously just being Ty's younger, I say twin brother who was just taken in by Boss Cass for reasons. Definitely not the same amount of trauma there as Shadow. Just Sly really is just Ty's edgier brother. Kinda wish they learned into that a little bit more, to be perfectly honest. But I suppose the whole Missile Bunyip fit section at the end, yeah, that was kinda cute. I just kinda wish there was more stuff like that. Well, I'm not 100% certain as to how this game looks, because obviously I've pointed out a whole bunch of graphical gobbledygook. I'm not 100% certain if that's the case on the console releases, particularly the Switch version, because that feels like a bit of an oversight if it's been shipped like that on the Switch. Just gonna say. Like, I know a lot of the graphical stuff here I felt was more sort of just put in without that much regard for the art style, but I feel that at the very least a lot of these graphical errors should have been ironed out for the Switch release, which I certainly at the very least hope they have been. Maybe wondering why I'm sticking on the credits for so long. That's mostly because there's a just like in the first game, another 100% completion bonus. And actually, okay, so I can at the very least speed this up a little bit. Or, you know, I could just go like that. Oh, this is all the Kickstarter stuff, so see if you can't spot any yeah. Here we got the Kickstarter backers as well, Honorary Push Rescuer. See if you can pick up on a little bit of an Easter egg here. Observe as I magically dox myself. Yep. Well, I mean, I do quite like a lot of these designs, which just sort of makes mine sort of stick out like a bit of a sore thumb. Look at that, there's got a little Blofeld cat. Alright, that one's pretty cute. Just with the records and the posters in the back. And this one in his gamer chair. And, what looks like the Frill-Lizard version of KSI. On pineapples, we can't forget pineapples. Gotta admit, some of these are quite creative. Just an actual stag beetle character. It's like you hardly ever see that in like Sonic OCs. Or you get like statuette specials, which are more sort of tiers of the Kickstarter stuff. Of course, mine was the second highest. Tasmanian Tiger Treasure Trove, which gets you the signed picture, which I did also get a physical copy of that, by the way. Just for clarification, it's on my wall. But yeah, I think we can just skip through all of these, I think. Obviously, many thanks to all those who sacrificed their hard-earned cash just to bring this game to more people, and I am definitely hoping that we do get a new game eventually. Just gonna put that out there. Like, even if it is just a crossover with Blade Kitten. I would certainly enjoy that as well, but I suppose I might as well go over the other Kickstarter rewards I got, considering I did put a fair bit into this game. So I got a collection of action figures based on the game, I got a CD and vinyl record of the soundtrack, the first Doom Ranger comic issue as physical, and a digital copy of the second issue, I believe. Plush boomerangs, some swimming trunks, and of course a big statuette which is in my cabinet next to the beatbox plushie. Generally just a whole bunch of the Burmudgy special. How many How many tiers were there to this? It must... Gah. We had just a whole bunch of neat stuff, which I just have in my cabinet now. Along with all the Lego Sonic stuff, which, yeah. Tomorrow's gonna be Sonic Unleashed. It is probably gonna be fairly funny, in hindsight, just a Bush Rescue Team key. Yeah, it would be funny in hindsight, just people see me playing Unleashed after being sick for a year. It's just like, oh, he pretended to be sick for a week so he wouldn't have to play Unleashed. If that were the case, I would have still done this. Just to be clear, let's just blast through all this. I want to get to the concept arts. As yeah, a lot of people just put their names down for the cheapest thing. Can't say I'm wholly surprised. I'm fairly certain there's still a fair few funny names in here, but Ward's Paradox. Oh, Size Opal Club. Right, let me just zoom all the way down here. I think we've seen enough. Oh, and there we go. And all of a sudden, as we're clearing the floor by, all of a sudden we see the Bunyip Hill from the first game. I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
Where are we going?
We are going to the dream time.
I gotta admit, this is a pretty awesome hook for the third game, just actually going into the dreaming, which was a big major plot point of the first game. We just get dumped in the middle of, obviously, more outbacky wastelands, and now we have these things to contend with, whatever they are. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Call sheet's done, 100% completion. All that's really left for me to do now is to buy the last thing from Trader Bob, and then I can call it there. And surprisingly good time too. The credits really went on for a fair bit, didn't they? So just going to mosey on over to Trader Bob, get the last of the oh yeah, and everyone's back, by the way, in case you were wondering. Just get the last of the cosmetics, which is just this camo print. Isn't there supposed to be something here? I will admit there's definitely quite a few fun descriptors here. Obviously, we got prototype, original Thai concept style. What if Sly was raised by bilbies? Protection from the hash, as he's stunned and stingers. All roads lead to Krome. Isn't there supposed to be something else? Shares his old 4x with Sly in charge. Things are different. He doesn't play by the rules. On loan from Fair Dinkum. That's a nice little touch there. Happiest planet on Earth. And a classic workhorse. And yeah, I think for being in the game, you get more outfits. Yeah, we get, I would say, sorry, movie. I would say Timeless River Tie, but, his nose is still red and his eyes are still green, so I don't think that quite works. We get, Reggie Didge, who is a reference to the third game, and, Tasmanian Dingo, which is just a more Shazafine pattern. We'll go with prototype for the time being, because I think it's the best one. And let's have a look at the 4x prints we get. We get the Cyber 4B, which I think goes well with the Side 2077 look. We get Invisijeep, on loan from Wonder Woman, and Goldenrod, which obviously Tasmanian Tiger print. I think I'm just gonna go cyber on everything for the time being, and I mean, not that there's anywhere else for us to go. We've already got everything we need to get, so I reckon we see how the 4x looks with us on it, and then we call it there and have to look at some concept art, because I wanted to get to the concept art if we had time, and we barely have it, so there's that. Again, I really didn't expect the credits to last so long. Let's have a look at here. Yep, there it is, and honestly, I do quite like that. Obviously a very pixelated pattern, but the blue and the purple, obviously I dig it. But not sure how many other people would, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for me. Save game, 100%. And let's have a look at, well, that's the movie player. I feel it's an opportunity for us to look at this as well. Recap video. This would play at this as basically the intro for the console version.
Long ago, a great battle was fought.
Or at least what if the audio synced up correctly.
Mystic talismans, so he could banish every war.
Yeah, it basically just reuses a lot of the FMV from the first game. In a way that recontextualizes it so it sort of looks like Ty is battling Boss Cass here, even though obviously he isn't.
And in the end, he succeeded. Cass was back,
That doesn't look like Karwong Prison.
and the land was made safe once again. All thanks to one lone hero, Ty the Tasmanian tiger.
Also, that's not what it looked like at the in the end there. I think it just used the Bush Rescue logo there. Anyways, let's look at the attract videos real quick. And right there you saw those mysterious Earth-looking boomerangs which went in the... Oh, and a hovercraft. So it looks fairly obvious that the Never Never was always planned from the start. As well as those trees. Oh, you actually get to race Psy a little bit and more stuff with Clarence. A looking version of Fair Dinkum by the looks of it. That looks like a fairly new... Oh, that probably looks Sulphur Rocks. Never Never looks pretty much the same. Also, Cassopolis. I think this is more so around the time when the plot was more focused on time travel. Some of these areas look... Oh yeah, and there was the surfing, which didn't make it into the first game. I mean, the final build. Still, more racings with a robotic duplicate of yourself. That's, they really were hammering on hard with the Sonic CD references with this one. Of course, the Battle Bunny, which looks like it was planned for the Never Never, but of course we never actually saw it in that section. And then there's this, which would also play at the if you just held on the main menu for a while. A more complete final look at the game, which I think is more sort of what we expect. I don't think there's strictly anything here which is... Well, aside from Baramudji looking different, and some areas of the overworld by the looks of it, most of the stuff looks finalized here, though. Like, this area is obviously from the final game. That's from the final game. Final game. Yeah, aside from some of the more unfinished looking areas, most of this would just play at the start of the... that's basically the start menu demo. Yeah, it just looks at this point where that Baramudji Town was less so finalized. Like, even as far back as here, you're punching dinosaurs in the face. Of course, the Shadow Bunny doing its Kamehameha laser, of course. Unfortunately, a lot fewer movies compared to the last one, so let's just have a look at the concept art. All 175 pages of them. With Thai theme and B playing. Just looking through this this gallery here, it does still make me feel quite nostalgic. Here we see a lot of the updated designs for a lot of the enemies. We got C-10 Waz in his life jacket. Sly looking a lot less menacing and more just like he has been awake since 3 a.m. Obviously, concept for Psy, Snafe and Cave, Uber Thrills. These two, which from the 2003 build, seemed like they had a more prominent role as opposed to just being NPCs in Sulphur Rocks. As it sort of feels like the Temple of Karnak was a more, I suppose, important place in the plot. At least that's the way I see it, given by the just massive statue of this guy. Of course, you got everyone just returning from the past game. We got Google Steve. I'm gonna miss him. I don't think we actually saw this dinosaur NPC though, or at least I don't remember. We might have come across him. But that seems like another character who was sort of prominent in the earlier builds. Presumably when time travel was involved. Obviously Fluffy and her mech. Got Sly, we got Ty's parents with, I think it's Bri there on the right, looking strangely less detailed with no shading at all. We got the aliens, which I do kind of find it funny that Pip and Pepper are literally just palette swaps. And of course we got Discount General Scales here. Crab Max, the Deadly Stone Beetle. I think this is supposed to be Booney's dad, who has a thing for Sheila, who I thought was dead in the first part, but turns out wasn't. Battle Bunyip, Battle Mortar, and Shaz's Battle Bunyip, Buster. Just a lot of Bunyip stuff. Just, the lifted Bunyip here looks so cool, and then you actually get to playing it, and it sucks. Shadow Bunyip, obviously. I do kind of find it funny how all the Bunyips have faces. I mean, obviously they're based on the mythical creatures of the same name, but just the dedication to all of them having at least some kind of face. I kind of feel that Trader Bob is sort of supposed to be a play on Trader Joe. All these flame guys, we got the director, Beryl and Squeever. I do kind of find it funny how prominent the chests are on a lot of these characters. Demon Fluffies, we got the Ninja Billies, we got that guy who died in protecting Kurrawong, Sergeant Bluey. Shaz's sister on the left there, and I think more of Shaz's relatives. We obviously got the Blue Whale, who was cut from the 2004 release and reintroduced in the HD port. More Baramudji residents, including that weird looking monkey. I still have no idea what their deal is. We have Winges Anonymous. Don't think I've actually seen this one before. I think it's supposed to be related to fire response. Obviously I have these cannon guys. It's kind of weird. I never actually saw Clarence holding that little jar of tadpoles before. Then again, I'm not entirely 100% certain we actually do get to see Clarence in the third game. Also, his uncle there. I suppose his dad. I'd never even noticed he has a talisman necklace right there. The tree frog necklace. You got Bruce. You got Red, and you'll have to forgive me if I don't remember a lot of these character names, to be perfectly honest with me. You got obviously Lenny there. The Ken and Neddies. Booney. The Ghosts. Which, that's definitely a face. I'll say that much. That is definitely a face. I guess being a ghost doesn't exactly give you a good dental plan. Of course, there's this guy, which I don't think I really taught that much to during my time in Baramudji, which is kind of embarrassing. Just this one guy who's just stuck in the mascot costume in the sweltering Australian heat. Just teenage intern with a squeaky voice and just suffering. Arguably the most relatable character in the series. Of course, we got the spies. That looks even goofier, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's go Duke. There's more Burmaji. There's Sheila, who I don't think actually appears in the game. It's nice that they gave her a updated design, though. Madam Mopoke. Yeah, I think I'll just fast forward for a few of these, just so we can get some more interesting stuff, like the kart racing. There's the sub-bunyip, which doesn't have a face as far as I'm aware. Here we go with boomerangs. We got the boomerang and the multi-rang from the first game. We've got the deadly rang, which is just, I'm pretty sure, just slides boomerangs from the first game as well. We got the update to the doomerang, which, honestly, I'm not certain whether or not I prefer the original design, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, this one's also pretty good. Just not too sure about the holes in it. I feel that sort of makes it a little less aerodynamic. Smash Rang and Boomerang. Obviously, they just lump in the rangs and their respective upgrades. Like the Infrarang and X-Rang here. Yes, yes, yes. And then we get some more, I suppose, noteworthy concept art. Like here, obviously looks like Mount Boom. Not understanding this is supposed to be possibly Outback Oasis. This is supposed to be Fluffy's arena, obviously. Possibly Cass's Run. This is definitely Cass's Run. Possibly Dennis Memorial Freeway, or just parts of the overworld. Obviously, map of Seven Rivers, racetracks. I think this is supposed to be Dennis Memorial Freeway. Just what manner of thing managed to take such a gnarly chunk out of the road like that? I can't ever wonder. I don't think this was a thing in the final game. Maybe part of the oil rig thing. Obviously more crumbling gantry. That was obviously the part of the oil rig. We've got the Bush Rescue Lookouts with the map there. Snafe and Keeves Caravan Bar and Grill. Oh, do they do kebabs? Sort of kebabs where you bite into it and immediately get food poisoning. Because that did happen to me once. Had a kebab, a nice little doner kebab, got food poisoning for it and stayed up all through the night. It wasn't pretty. Obviously more concept art of the Bush Rescue HQ here. Bunyip Bay and Psi 1024. Because I think the more rusty version was technically Psi 512. So I think this was originally supposed to be part of the HQ, where you just could see all your bunyips and Psi, I guess, when he was more relevant in the plot. I guess this is just part of the observatory. Just a whole bunch of stuff that didn't make it into the final game. Obviously, that looks to be the entrance to the sewers. Dennis's house. Not too certain what that is. Gruesome Bottom Manor. Yeah, this looks to just be more concept art of Burmaji. Not sure about that. More landmarks like the King Prawn. Those chainsaws again. More crates. I'm not entirely certain I actually came across any of those weird question mark crates. I think they're the kart racing ones. Probably. Yeah, these just seem to be new concept art for stuff that was introduced in this game. Oh yeah, that roller from the Temple of Karnak. Just being made of wood as well, just adds this like whole different level of barbarism to it, I feel. More burning houses. That massive construction truck. Oh yeah, the scary animatronics of Fair Dinkum. More stuff for Fair Dinkum, the boats. Not sure if that's supposed to be, but it's I do kind of like the fact that a lot of the vehicles here are just comically huge. Like, you have no idea who could possibly drive this, though you know it's just all the koalas. Like, they have to probably just stack up 6 high in order to reach the wheel. I don't think we actually saw that in the final game. Possible rank shop as well. Carport floor jack. Well, that's kind of pretty. Oh, there's Slice Shack, obviously. I will admit, a fair bit of this doesn't look all that familiar to me like this. Obviously, this is the pipes from the one submarine mission. That looks to be Goober Steve's house. Obviously, the Rang shop, Madame Mopoke, where the candles actually are lit as they're supposed to be. Inside a Slice Shack. There's the prison. And I guess a 2 scale of all the characters in the cast. And that's pretty neat, just a nice little pin-up of everybody. As Julius is just there, just looking at his nose like... I'm not even sure what. I'm tired. Guess just looking at those calculations just super intently. Maybe using plutonium to create new techno ranks wasn't such a good idea. The amount of cancer everybody's getting. It's beyond anything I could have possibly imagined, Ty. Super happy yellow fun dog. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be marketing in Japan with those, again, those weird looking boomerangs which didn't make it into the game. Obviously, poster. I quite like this one, just slide in front of his shack. That's good wallpaper material. And just tie with that particular set of boomerangs, we get the first look at the enemies from the 3rd game. The Quinken. This is going to be interesting to fight, as well as this character who I don't think actually made much of an appearance in either this game or the next game. Just feels like she was just left on the cutting room floor. Of course, there's Ridge. Feels like they really wanted to push this character hard, which we'll see how that goes in the 3rd game once we eventually get there. Of course, new design for Fluffy and new design for Ty, where he just gets this cool, nice little bandolier and a funky-looking gauntlet there. I wonder what that does. But yeah. I was kind of hoping there would actually be concept art of this particular prehistoric looking boomerang. I think it's supposed to be called the Proto-Rang, or at least that's the name I've heard being tossed around for it. Obviously we saw a whole bunch of it in the promotional material, but for some reason it just never made it into the game. Obviously it feels more like a product of when the game was supposed to be more time travel focused, but I sort of can't help but wonder what these particular rangs were for, because I know there were heavily featured as concept art in the first game as well. I would have thought maybe they had something to do with the fact that the first game originally had 4 areas planned, because of course you had the first area which had fire opals for the flame rang, and the second area which was ice opals for the frosty rang, third which was lightning opals for the Zachary rank, and then you have earth opals / thunder eggs, which would have possibly been an earth-based boomerang, and I can't help but wonder whether or not this would have been it, but then again it was all over marketing for this game, so it is kind of weird, in all honesty, the fact that this rang was featured so much in the promotional material, yet whilst the Kickstarter added 2 new boomerangs, neither of them were this one. I just found that kind of odd. Anyways, I've dawdled on this long enough. So, next thing, obviously I have planned is Pokemon Emerald Legacy, and then possibly Klonoa 2. Obviously at some point I do plan on covering the 3rd game, but I feel that won't be for a little bit. But until then, thank you for putting up with me and my antics throughout this whole series, and I'll see you when I see you. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.